to, you can also see this on lensec.com/live, along with previous recordings from weeks prior. And I am seeing it come up live on those couple of sites right now. So that's looks like we're working well, and I think we're just getting around here exactly at the top of the hour. So welcome. This is another week of live stream with LENSEC. We're kind of talking about remote work in the physical security space. Today, we're very pleased to be joined by Charlie Druzak from Doble Laboratories, and we're going to talk with him a little bit about what an integrator's perspective is through this remote work time, what end users are asking for, what they're looking for today as we're nearing the end of April. In different states throughout the country. Doble has a presence all throughout North America. And so we'll be kind of talking about some of the requests that they're getting. But with that, I'll go ahead and let Charlie kind of give a little bit of introduction about Doble Labs and what are you guys doing here in Pittsburgh, Charlie?
Well, Doble Labs has been in business since 1971. We started off as an AV company, an audiovisual company, doing back in the 70s, doing all kind of, different restaurants, bars, things of that nature. Also doing companies that provided, actually bands that provided concerts like America and things of that nature. And we kind of morphed into the integrations of security. That's where we started back in 1971. And we've morphed into a larger company through North America, from coast to coast, and very successful in what we offer as an integration company.
Very good. Charlie, quick question as far as Doble, what kind of different areas do you guys cover? What parts of the country do you guys cover with your businesses?
Well, we cover everything from hospitality all the way down to K through 12 and also higher education and corporate businesses. We offer conference room business, offerings. Also, we offer security as well. Everything from intrusion alert to access control, of course, video management software. And so we're very adept of working across the country with electrical contractors, general contractors in that realm. So we're a parts and smarts kind of company. We don't pull wire or anything of that nature, but we do offer engineering and designing with CAD work, riser diagrams, things of that nature.
That's an interesting kind of kickoff point, Charlie. Talk about kind of in this remote work environment. What are some of the things you're seeing from design requests? If an end user is coming to Doble, wanting to put in a security system, wanting to be able to remotely surveil, what are some of the things that you guys are doing to help understand where to place equipment, where to design that security implementation?
Where it comes down to software. When we seen when everything hit the fan here in beginning of March, everybody working remotely, they wanted to be able to control all their intrusion alert, their access control, and video management software from one web browser. And because nobody could really go to their locations, so to be able to control 3 different technologies from one web browser, which Perspective VMS does, was a game changer. And now that since they're able to do this, we have had more and more opportunities asking us for that type of technology for K through 12 through higher education and the corporate world. Along with it can control the audio visual as well. So it's been kind of a game changer.
Hey, Charlie, question for you. With, obviously integrators have been going through challenges and different things throughout the COVID-19, pandemic. Have there been any things unique or different areas of the business that have kind of our new business because of this, that you guys have been able to capitalize or go after work that maybe wasn't previously a part of your business that now, because of the new environment we're in, there's some new opportunities that have been created for you guys?
Well, the new opportunities we've had was doing remote sessions for graduations, remote sessions for graduation parties, things of that nature, but also remote viewing of cameras. It's brought on that we are able to remote into their systems and help them navigate them issues and those issues and create new revenue streams.
Charlie, one of the questions that comes up now from a lot of end users when they're recognizing maybe for the first time that they don't have the capabilities to remotely view their offices. All of a sudden their staff is all removed from their offices, their facilities, and they have no visibility into, and they don't have anybody there to tell them that the things are all right, that there's no vandalism, there's no theft, et cetera. So they're looking to implement a solution now. Do you have advice for them about how they should be planning or preparing, or should they wait to reach out to an integrator? Should they be doing that as soon as they can? What advice would you give them?
Well, my advice is they need to do it as soon as they can, because what we've noticed just even recently and actually in the past, I've been in this industry for 25 years. Once they install a system, it's been there for 25 years, and the technology that they've been using, they didn't think about catching up. With the software that PVMS offers and also other access controls and intrusion alert to incorporate everything on one web browser to handle that situation, this is where they're missing the boat. And now they're seeing that, they kind of neglected for years what they've had, installed to protect their businesses and to watch their businesses now become, very important to them to see what's going on.
Yeah. Charlie, I have a question for you. How has the day-to-day business been different for you and your technicians and your installers? What kind of different things has Doble been putting in place? Obviously, the security industry are considered essential employees. So I'm assuming, based on in conversations we've had, that you guys are still doing work. Your installers are going out, but what kind of things have you seen across the board? Any challenges or special requests from any of the end users when you guys are coming on board or coming on site?
Well, what we've did was we put a policy together for Doble Labs that we made sure that any of our technicians, because we are an essential business, we're taking every precaution to protect not only the end user, but also ourselves and our technicians, wearing masks and gloves and things of that nature. I think the biggest hurdle is basically going out and shaking hands. You really can't do that anymore. And everything is more of a Zoom meeting or off-site meetings. So you don't have that personal touch as much, but our technicians still have that. But the biggest issue is being able to remote into systems themselves and us to take care of any issues that they do have, and which we're able to offer. And thank goodness that we have LENSEC as a partner that can convert all three types of technologies into one, which makes a big difference. It makes our job easier, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I've seen, some things that maybe end users don't realize is when you do have to be on site, you do have to kind of understand where equipment is going to go, where it's going to be mounted, how that's going to capture the field of view, how that's going to interact with those devices, those physical access control devices. So I know that a lot of technicians are out there, they're using their cell phones, or even the end user, if they can be on site and they can't bring somebody in there, you can do things like Zoom through your cell phone, even if you don't have internet access at that facility at that moment, as that's getting kind of ramped up. Maybe some new construction projects are happening and you still need to have that remote touch. That's one way to do it.
Oh, you're exactly right.
One of the things that we get concerned about anytime that we have one of these kind of large economic impacts in the security industry is an increase in crime. And I think fortunately we in pockets, I mean, I've seen reports about New York City seeing an uptick in crime in areas. It's just, that's a trend that tends to happen when you have an economic downturn. And we of course hope that we get that V-shaped recovery and things come back rather quickly, but it is something to be concerned about. And not having that physical surveillance there, not having physical personnel there to be able to monitor your facility, you need to do that remotely. You need to have tools in place. And that's why you want to get out and reach out to your security integrators to build a plan. And it is about building a plan. Charlie, I don't know, we talk about delivering software a lot, but there's hardware equipment that needs delivered too. Cameras, locks, devices. How has the equipment delivery been for you? Has that been, is that supply chain still worked through for integrators like yourself?
Well, the supply chain's still there. I mean, there's some issues, maybe a little bit of a lull in delivery of products, maybe a week or two at the most. To get back to to what you were saying about crime and things of that nature, and that's what makes a big difference too, is with video analytics, not only at the end unit with the cameras, but also the video analytics that the LENSEC and the PVMS offers to give you alerts. To let you know if there's a person or car at a location that shouldn't be at certain times. Other than that, I mean, the products we seem to be getting pretty regularly. I think warehouses are open, manufacturers are still open. Of course, LENSEC's still open, even though you're working remotely. So we've been pretty lucky on that end, to keep working, because since we're our essential business now. As far as the AV, I couldn't answer on that, but as far as the security industry, we seem to be okay.
Yeah, a lot of credit goes out, and God bless the delivery personnel, the truckers that are getting the equipment to and fro, and making sure that those supply chains are staying open. But we definitely, again, if you are looking at a solution, you want to make sure that you're doing that planning now, you're contacting now, not waiting, and seeing what can be done here in the short term in case there is any hiccup down the road.
Well, we talked about that too recently, Michael and I, along with our end users, that we have a lot of businesses coming up this summer that, listen, if you want to move, we want to move now, because when the government lets us get back to work full board, we want to be able to manage expectations on the end user's timeline, because we're worried to the point where once everything does break through, okay, how are we going to get all these locations at once? And you really necessarily can't hire a ton of people for only a short amount of period of time, 4 to 5 months worth of work, and then lay them off. You know what I mean? It's just trying to manage expectations is going to be the biggest thing here soon. And that's why we're pretty happy with a lot of our customers moving forward a little quicker, letting us in these locations and get stuff done.
Yeah, Charlie, I think we've seen across the board as our company and some of our regional sales managers have been talking with school districts or secondary education, where they've now been told, hey, they're closed for the rest of their kids are not coming back. And a lot of times, you're in the security industry, it seems like a lot of upgrades when it comes to K through 12 in particular always seem to fall between like the end of June and August. So everyone is jamming everything into a 2-month period of time. And now that schools know that they're not going to be open the rest of the year, they don't have to worry about has the school already been sanitized, and are we going to bring kids back, and are we going to have to re-sanitize and do all of these things. That's now, that piece of the pie is kind of out of the equation now. And if people have the budget already set aside, or even if they have budget, if it's budgeted for the 2020-2021 school year budget that typically starts either June 1st or July 1st, I think it's advantageous to have conversations with Doble Laboratories or and I know manufacturers like LENSEC and other people are being a little bit more understanding maybe about timeframes on, when invoicing will be due and things like that, because we want it, as a manufacturer, we want to do whatever we can to support reselling partners, to be able to get some of that work now, to shift a little bit of that workload, instead of it all being jammed in between, June 15th and August 31st, and be able to start getting in there and doing some of that work now. Have you seen, I guess that's kind of what you were talking about. I think you've seen that with some people as well.
Actually, we are. In fact, some of the school districts that we work with currently are starting to let us in. We talked about this earlier, Michael, with a couple of school districts we're working with. Finally, they're saying, listen, we do have some money and it is set aside for security. And you know what? We don't want to wait until summer. Let's get it done now, since school district's not having any children in now. And plus, they have to spend it by June 1st before their new budget year comes out. So we're finally, getting go-aheads on getting a little earlier. And so our guys are completely working full time right now, and actually a little bit of overtime. So actually some hospitals that we're working with now as well, healthcare industry, they just got a huge influx of monies and they need to upgrade their systems as well. So they're allowing us in there currently, as long as we take the precautionary steps of making sure everybody's safe, not only them but us. And yeah, we do see an influx of business because of that.
Yeah, I think, and Michael, you brought up a good point too about sanitation. I think, as school districts do prepare for eventually coming back to school in the fall, I think there's going to be a set of new procedures that are in place to sanitize and clean. I mean, lots of times we joke in the security industry and in the school space, the summers you're always fighting those waxing the floors. We're trying to get the cameras and
there's definitely a juggling of all of these different projects, not just security upgrades and facility upgrades, but yeah, to your point, Jeff, you're competing with time and getting on the schedule with people to be able to make sure that you're not stepping on each other's toes, for lack of a better word. We may have lost Jeff. I think he's might have had a little bit of a internet interruption there, but so hopefully we're still live, Charlie. Hopefully people are still hearing our conversation, but
Sure.
It looks like Jeff, looks like we're still streaming live according to the view here, but it looks like Jeff has dropped off, and hopefully he'll be able to get reconnected here. But just continuing conversation, is there anything else, Charlie, that you wanted to talk about, how it relates to how your day-to-day operations maybe have changed, or anything related to the current environment we find ourselves in with the COVID-19 pandemic?
Other than changing, I think that actually what has happened is more people are relying on technology now more than ever. And the offerings that not only Doble offers, but our partners as well, like LENSEC, they can do it more confidently, I guess. A lot of people aren't coming into the offices. A lot of people, you're not shaking hands anymore. You're taking your 6 feet away from each other. You're not hugging anymore. Other than that, I don't think it actually has changed too much. I mean, because our guys are still on the ground, and boots are on the ground, and they're still working. And I think the biggest change is how we're doing sales and how we're pushing our information out. But I think everybody's grasping at it. I think not only, Doble as a customer, is an integrator, but also our customers, they're understanding that. And so as our manufacturing help, I think they understand that now more than ever. And when will it ever get back to the point where you're shaking hands again and sitting down and have lunch or dinner? I don't know. But right now we're finding different ways to reach our partners and our end users. And it seems to be working pretty well for us at Doble.
Hi guys, I'm back. I know I froze there for a minute. You know, one of the nice things about working remotely is occasionally that happens. I think one of the points that we were making, I hope you guys picked up on that, was with the change in schedules and everything that are coming out of this, it's just more imperative that you take the opportunity that presents itself. I know for installing security implementations, it's much easier to do that without a lot of people around. And I think we can do that now with people that are being sent home. Now is actually a good time to do these installations and to get this done and completed. So, Charlie, what are for end users out there that are looking to connect, that are looking for a survey, that are looking for some expertise, what is the best way to reach out and contact them?
Well, the best way to reach out, I mean, we do have a lot of customers that already know us in the AV industry, the audiovisual industry, but reaching out to us is giving us a call, emailing, talking to us about how they want to utilize technology, being away from their physical business, to be able to control their facility remotely. Giving Doble a call and telling us their needs, and we engineer and design. Nothing's a cookie cutter process. We engineer and design differently from each individual business and how large or how small they are. Just giving us a call and talking to us, see if we can come up with a plan. Because we work with you. We don't we want to make sure that we answer all questions. We listen to the end user and what they're coming up with, their problems that they're having, and trying to work out a good plan to move forward and to make it successful.
Yeah, and Charlie, the Doble website, if you want to reach out to Charlie or the team at Doble Labs, it's Doble, DOBIL.com. Charlie, if you want to go ahead and give them an email address, being the director of security with Doble, way that they can reach you directly if they had any questions related to security.
Well, actually, our marketing girl that works with us, our marketing department, if you go on Doble.com and reach out through our website, any questions that you have and any technology questions and how you want to improve what you have currently, email into the Doble.com website, and we would get those questions right away to our security department and or AV.
And we'll put a link to that in the comments below as well, and at our YouTube page. And I'm sure if this is running in post-production, if you're watching this after the fact, you're going to see it right below on the screen right there. Very good. Well, I think we're coming close to the end of our 20 to 30 minute session. Michael, was there anything else that you wanted to add from our perspective or from an integrator's perspective, things that maybe you've seen this week that we keep an eye on to help our joint end users? Yeah, well, I kind of mentioned it, touched on it briefly earlier, but as a security manufacturer, the software manufacturer of Perspective VMS, just want our integration partners to know, and maybe end users to know that, hey, we will have conversations and we'll be flexible when it comes to figuring out how to invoice, or how we can do to be of an assistance to the integration partners, and also by we then have a mutual end user then there together, a customer that's the actual person using the product. So we want to make sure that our partners know that, hey, if they have questions or anything that we can do to try to help move projects forward now, to kind of get things going again, to get some projects started, reach out to us. Don't be afraid to reach out to LENSEC, and reach out to sales@lensec.com, or just go to lensec.com, similar to doble.com, and there's information you can fill out there to submit an inquiry as well. That's right. That's right. Charlie, is there anything you wanted to say in closing for us today?
Actually, been in the business for 25 years. I've used numerous video management software companies, different manufacturers, cameras, and so forth like that. When I met with Michael in LENSEC about a year ago, your product is basically blew me away. The software that you have, and how many people we could reach and help in this industry. That's why we're very close with LENSEC, and we will not sell anything other than LENSEC. We decided that probably about 9 months ago as a company, and I really appreciate the support that we get, not only from Michael, but yourself as well, Jeff, and then also Bryce, who's down in West Virginia, that comes up with us and works with us, your engineer. The support that you guys provide and the product that you provide is second to none. And I just appreciate being a part of your family and as an integrator. And I thank you very much.
Thank you, Charlie. Really appreciate that. And we do value that partnership. I think it's been great for our end user and our customers. And that's really what we look for, is we want to make sure that we're providing the right solutions and helping our end users with their needs, protect their property, protect their staff, protect their team members, and do it in a way that's efficient and productive. And so great partner in Doble Laboratories here in Pittsburgh, PA, with a national reach. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in today, either catching us live or catching us on the post recording. We'll be back again next week with another live session right at 1 o'clock Eastern, 12 Central. So we look forward to it. Any questions that you have, we can definitely get them to Doble. You can reach out directly to Doble or reach out to ourselves. We'd be happy to work with you. Thank you again, guys. Really appreciate it. Have a great week.
Thank you, guys.